Good day, I'm Hendro Mattes and today I will be presenting the demo for the ATAT API Threat Assessment Tool. Project description. API Threat Assessment Tool is a cybersecurity application designed to automate the security testing of APIs. It enables organizations to identify vulnerabilities early, improve API resilience, and comply with industry security standards such as OWASP API Security Top 10. The system will support specifications-based scanning to cover a wide range of API environments. Our team aims to build a scalable, extensible, and professional-grade API security assessment platform suitable for real-world deployment, allowing both automated and manual security evaluation. Project progress. 11 projects still need to be completed, but 74 has been completed by this date. Software architecture. We have four different architectures. We have the presentation layer, the API layer, the processing layer, and then the database layer. So the presentation layer is built with React.js, responsible for rendering the user interface, sends requests and APIs for scan, report generation, and user authentication. API layer acts as a middleware between front-end and back-end processing, performs user session validation, RESTful request parsing, and dispatch tasks to Python backend. Processing layer executes scanning logic, report generate, and vulnerability detection. Communication with API layer through internal HTTP calls, read environment variables for security credentials. Architectural justification. We have scalability, maintainability, and fault isolation. Fault isolation is used to prevent that the backend does not bring down the front end and make sure it still keeps on working even though there's a mistake. Then the non-technical notes is the architecture is technology independent in concept. We have quality attributes such as performance, modularity, and reliability are enhanced by the separation of concerns. The architectural diagram. At the top layer you can see the front end, which is the model view control architect. Then the second layer is the access layer, which is the API gateway. The third layer is the service layer, which also includes the pipe filtering layer, which generates how the API works and the scan functions works. Then the presentation layer is the database, which is used to store the credentials of each profile and the scans. The deployment model. At the beginning, we will be using GitOps main branch to deploy automatically to the dedicated server, which is the cloud storage or the cloud environment, and it will run then the server once everything has succeeded on the main branch, all the automated tests and so on. Then we will also be deploying a Docker for internet, so that if you want to do intranet detection, local environment, for if you're processing or producing a API and wants to make sure it is correct from the beginning, we have a local Docker host as well. Then the service contract. So the service contract uses a RESTful architecture and combines using JSON and HTTP requests. API.create makes sure that the API actually creates correctly and it gives you a response if it is successful. Then API.delete will delete that specific API to remove it from the memory, and if it is successful it will send you back a code of 200 OK. If not, it will send back a 404 request. Then the error schema is used to prevent jobs from scanning too long, so we have a 60-second barrier, and also prevent the rate limit to prevent abuse on the request made per customer or client. Then the CI/CD is ran every time once we deploy to the main model or main branch. It runs the CI/CD automated testing, which will make that if it succeeds or any errors is present, it will not succeed and not upload to the main branch, and then it will not be deployed to our server. So for the testing, we have backend tests, we have front-end API tests, which are split up in integration tests and also unit tests. The integration tests and unit tests are separated to ensure understanding. So we have a 90%, we have a 77% coverage in statements, branches was 56%, functions was 90% covered, and the total lines covered was 77% covered. We have front-end testing as well, which is used to test the manage API page and so on. Then let's go to the live demo. Okay, so the live demo, we have a login, the launch page. Then we can log in as a user that already exists. Then we have the home page, the dashboard, the API management, and the settings page. The settings page renders live from your database to ensure that it is the correct data and nothing changed, and that live updates can be made. You can also change your password in your settings page if you want to. Okay, let's go to the API management tool. So in the API management tool, we will first upload a file for demo purpose, for the demo. Okay, so the custom service JSON. So firstly, we will have the server. Then we can select the profile. We're going to do a normal test with no endpoint changes yet. So it has already pre-selected BOLA, broken authentication, and BOPLA authentication, and then it will start running tests based on the top 10 OWASP, and yeah, then the scan will be running, and once it is running like this, it is almost done, and it will create the report for you and also tell you if it's a high or low vulnerability, high severity vulnerability. And as you will see, you can also export the PD as a PDF at the end. Yeah. Then let's do another test where we change the endpoints. So we can change the endpoints to be less. And as you will see, it should not now test for those endpoints on any of the vulnerabilities. And once it is successful, the feedback will show that there's only 33 issues detected, and that means it did not scan all of the issues like expected, which is like expected. So then we have a view results of the previous results. As you can see, there's 14 BO broken level authentication, which is a total issues of 45 issues. But in the second results, we only have 33 issues, where it's only 7 broken authentication issues because I removed some of them. And then that is concluding for our demo. Thank you for your time.